After the match on Sunday, I talked to Ty and Nils. Just kind of talk about the intensity of the match. Just kind of talk about being out there on the court. It's back and forth. It's 1 point here, 1 point there. Just talk about the intensity of that match with Michigan.
Yeah, it was huge intensity. Obviously, Michigan coming to all the way here, Big Ten school, top 20 school at the moment. As you know, it's obviously they've got something to prove, and they had a tough loss to NC State earlier in the season, 4-3, I think, their opening match. So they definitely came here trying to prove a point. We're trying to do the same thing. We've got a good side together, a lot of depth this year. I think, so both sides have a lot to prove, and then that only builds the intensity. And I think, Michigan, very, very well-known school, very, very renowned program, so they're always going to bring it. And then, I think the atmosphere just built from there, and it ended up turning to be a huge dogfight, and I think a really good match for everyone to watch. So, the intensity was huge out there.
How important is it to be in those kind of matches when you think about goals for the season in terms of trying to get to NCAA tournament, Pac-12 championships, things like that, just playing those high-level, intense matches?
Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, because honestly, when you get to the NCAA tournament, when you're fighting when you fight to get there, and then once you're there, every team is quality. Every team has depth. Every team has 6 players who are good. 3 doubles teams that have earned their spot there. And obviously these matches are huge to get this experience under your belt, because when we get there, we're going to be playing teams like Michigan, other tops. If we want to make the Sweet 16, which we've talked about as a team, which is definitely one of the program's goals. It's going to be all these matches under the belt are just going to help us to, once we get there, to get it done and to take more steps with this program for sure. So.
You want to go, Johnson?
Charlie, bro.
And then just individually, what's been working well for you? What have you kind of felt clicking? What are some of the things you're still wanting to work on?
Yeah, I think just generally competing well, digging for every point. Just really fighting for the boys and for myself as well. I think I've been doing that really well. Great job of that. One thing that me and Coach Spence were working on today, actually, just before, just trying to develop my weapons a little bit more, build a bigger serve, build a bigger forehand. Because I feel like when I was out there on the weekend, I was doing a great job of just competing, making a million balls, putting it on my opponent a lot. But to keep building and to consistently get these wins at the next level and the top level of college, you need to be able to take the game on as well. And which I think I do a good job of, but just being able to develop my weapons and really cause more damage on court will pay a huge dividend and really try to take my game to the next level, which is where me and the coaches want it to be. So yeah, definitely.
This weekend, first road trip of the of the dual season anyway.
Yeah.
Another kind of probably going to be pretty intense with the level of competition. It's kind of look forward a little bit to the weekend and what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so excited to get on the road with the boys. I always personally love traveling, seeing new parts of America. Heading down to Texas, which will be awesome. Haven't been there myself before, so it'll be cool to see a new part of America. But once again, quality teams are all there. Georgia Tech, A&M, South Alabama, all top 40 schools in my eyes. So this is great. This is huge for the program. Definitely, if we can take advantage of this tough schedule, it will be unbelievable for the program, and definitely build a lot of confidence for the team going forward. And definitely, I think the start of this schedule is super strong. So it can almost cement us a spot in the NCAA tournament, which is where we want to be if we can find a few wins. The boys are feeling good, and we're just looking forward to the battle and getting back on court again, because it was a tough weekend. Losing to Michigan, it hurt a lot. So we're just all excited to get back out on court and keep fighting. So yeah, excited for it.
And finally, not necessarily tennis related, but you said first time going to Texas. When you're going to these places, are these the first time you've been there? What states have you been that weren't tennis related, or have there been many?
There actually hasn't been many. I recently over the break I went over to the East Coast. Never been there before. Checked it out. Went to Connecticut and New York. I was training each day there, grinding, but that wasn't necessarily for tennis tournaments or anything. But yeah, that was cool. But other than that, every place I've been to has just been with the squad, traveling around, just competing. So it but yeah, when you're there, you definitely get a little generally get a little bit of time off to after the match to check out the place. When we were in Santa Barbara, definitely had time to go check out a few other places like Santa Monica and stuff, which was pretty cool. and all that sort of stuff. So, but it's definitely one of the positives of being a part of like a nice program where you get to travel around a lot and see the country, because it's definitely not something every kid gets to do. So yeah, it's pretty cool.